All right, so we are on page 90. And today we're looking at what is an allele. Or, if you prefer, you can pronounce it allele. You can't, that's not really how it's pronounced, but a few years ago, I had a student who got really excited about pronouncing it allele, and I just can't stop thinking about it that way, but it really is just allele. Or you can say it like that, I don't know. All right, so here we go. And let's get our closed captions on. Shh. Okay, so we've got a gene. It codes for in grade 9, we'll just say it codes for a protein. Okay, it's more complicated than that, but a gene codes for a protein, and a protein is what gives you the trait. And what is a trait? A trait is a characteristic, okay? We're really vastly oversimplifying, but that's good enough for grade 9, okay? Okay, so allele just basically means version. You remember how when we were doing chemistry, isotopes were different versions of the same element? Well, in biology, alleles are different versions of the same gene. So the gene's called the eye color gene, and then the specific type, whether it's yellow eye color or red eye color, those red and yellow are called the different alleles. One version could come from mom, and one version would come from dad. So you might end up with two alleles the same, if you got the same from mom and dad, or you might end up with two alleles different, where mom and dad gave you different alleles of the same gene. Okay. So we watched our little video on alleles, and now we're going to apply that by looking at chromosomes. Okay, so when you have a chromosome from mom and a chromosome from dad, you might call the mom chromosome the maternal chromosome. That means maternal means it's from mom. Do you guys remember the symbol for mom? It's a circle with a little plus sign underneath, which is Venus's hand mirror. We have the paternal chromosome, and this is the one that comes from dad. Do you guys remember the symbol for dad? It's the shield and the spear. Okay. And maybe this is chromosome number 7. Okay. Say this is chromosome number 7. Okay, you could say it's number 21, you could say it's number 15, it doesn't matter. But this is chromosome number 1 from mom, and number 7 from mom, and number 7 from dad. When you have the matching chromosomes, like the same number, the one from mom and the one from dad, but they're both chromosome 7, we call these homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes is a matching pair of chromosomes. One from mom and one from dad. Now, do you guys remember what the prefix homo means? Homo means the same. So what they're talking about here is that the homologous chromosomes are the same chromosome number. It's always going to be like chromosome 7, right? If you have a homologous pair. And those chromosomes will have genes for the same traits. Homologous chromosomes are the same chromosome number So for example, number 7. And they have genes for the same traits. Yes. Okay, so homologous chromosome is on Thursday's quiz. Same chromosome number, genes for the same traits. One came from mom, one came from dad. So we actually have a fair bit of vocabulary just on this one page because we have alleles, okay, which we will go back to in just a moment. We have, and actually it's right over here, we have alleles. So let's put a star beside that one, which is different versions of the same gene. So you can have a brown eye allele, and you can have a blue eye allele. And in this case, the gene would be eye color. Here's just another way of expressing homologous chromosomes, the pair of chromosomes that contain all the same genes in all the same locations. One comes from mom, one comes from dad. So what is this big B, little b thing? Sometimes what we will do is with a particular gene, we will represent one particular allele with a capital letter, and we'll represent the other allele with a lowercase letter, okay? And then if there's more different alleles, we'll sometimes call it, we'll do things like we'll call them B prime or little b prime prime. Okay, but you don't have to worry about that. For grade 9, you can just assume that there are just 2 different alleles for every trait, okay? You don't have to think about multiple different alleles. That gets a little complicated. Grade 10, you might look at that, okay? But grade 9, we're just going to be like, your eyes are brown or your eyes are blue, and too bad if you have green eyes. We're not going to talk about that this year, okay? We'll leave that for grade 10 because it gets too complicated. The reason we like just a single letter is because if you show it on a chromosome, so if we go over to our chromosome here, you can see that we have little r and little r. That means that for whatever gene R stands for, maybe it's tongue rolling. Okay, although it's not tongue rolling, but because that's not actually genetic. But let's say it was tongue rolling, they would have 2 alleles that are the same because it's a little one and a little one. We have a capital P and a capital P. That means that this person or this plant or whatever these chromosomes belong to has the same chromosome from the male parent as from the female parent. And then we have same, 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 and then we have little c and big C. So we have same. What's the prefix for same? Homo. Homo is the same. What is the prefix for different? Hetero. Now, when you have a trait that has both alleles the same, both alleles the same, we call that homozygous. Z-Y-G-O-U-S. Homozygous. We get some really funky names in biology, okay? And the reason it is zygous, if anyone is interested, when a sperm and an egg fuse, when they fuse, what you get is you get a zygote. You don't need to know this, okay? If you want to, I'll make that an enriched word, okay? So basically, if you get a sperm and an egg and you get that one cell, you know how you all started as one single cell, right? That's called a zygote. And that's why if you have 2 different genes, one comes from mom, one comes from dad, they come together in that zygote, And if they're the same, it's homozygous. And if they're different, it's heterozygous. Okay, so that's a lot of new words. That's okay. So pairs of chromosomes that have all the same genes, but just slightly different versions, what are those called? Those are called, actually, should I get you guys to do this on your own? Oh, maybe not. Okay. Actually, yeah, I'm going to get you to do that on your own, but we're going to skip to the next page. Okay. Page 91. And you can see here we have a pair of homologous chromosomes. And do you see how there's just like one little blob and it's not an X right now? And over here, there's just one little blob and it's not an X. This is right here. This is before replication, DNA replication. When does replication occur? First, what does replication mean? Replication means copying. And what's being copied? Boys, what's being copied? The chromosomes, the DNA. Okay? So the DNA is being replicated. Do you remember when that happens? When do we get the copying of the DNA? Before the cell splits. We don't need a second copy until we're ready to make 2 new cells out of 1 cell. Okay? So this happens before cell division. I'm going to get rid of those ones because they're ugly and they don't actually make any sense. So I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So before DNA replication, we've just got 1 and 1. And we could actually write here that we have, here's another word. You're going to hate me because it also starts with chrome. We have 1 chromatid. Chromatid. 1 chromatid. It's a chromosome, but it is unreplicated. When it gets replicated, okay, so you guys are going to show me unreplicated. Show me unreplicated. And then show me replicated. Okay? So 1 chromatid, 2 chromatids. And we don't just call them chromatids. When there's 2 of them, we call them sister chromatids. Okay? So when the DNA is replicated, we get 2 sister chromatids. And these are identical to each other. So we're going to go through this again. We have Homologous chromosomes. One from mom, one from dad. Yes? One from mom and one from dad. Those are homologous chromosomes. After they are replicated, we still just have 2 homologous chromosomes. Okay, so over here, we have 2 homologous chromosomes. These are unreplicated chromosomes. 2 unreplicated chromosomes. When we're done with this, in addition to like going through the questions, I would actually really, really recommend that you just start drawing pictures of them and just seeing if you can like, you know, put little genes on them and different alleles and see if you can figure out what's happening and ask lots of questions if you're confused, okay? Now, what you want to notice about the homologous chromosomes is that they have genes for the same things, but they're not necessarily exactly the same. They have different alleles. Okay? I actually don't love this example because this one, every single trait is, how do we describe it? Every single trait is heterozygous. And it seems unlikely that every trait would be heterozygous. You would expect probably something to be homozygous, right? But whatever. Now, when we go over here, we still just have 2 chromosomes, 2 replicated chromosomes. So this is a chromosome. This is a chromosome. Chromosome, 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 chromosome. Say it with me. Chromosome, 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 chromosome. Unreplicated chromosome, replicated chromosome. Do it with me. Unreplicated chromosome, replicated chromosome. Say it with me. Unreplicated chromosome, replicated chromosome. Unreplicated chromosome, replicated chromosome. How many chromatids? How many chromatids? 1. 1 chromatid, 2 sister chromatids. 1 chromatid, 2 sister chromatids. Do it with me. What's this? 1 chromatid. 2 sister chromatids. I know, there's so many chroma things, it's maddening, which is one of the reasons why a cheat sheet is so useful in this section. So sister chromatids are identical. Homologous chromosomes are similar but not the same. Sister chromosomes are identical. So maybe we can find a place to write that maybe up at the top. Sister chromatids are identical. Homologous chromosomes are similar. Yes, yes. It would be so exciting if when someone raised their hand, they wanted to ask a question or make a comment rather than go to the bathroom. Like, people used to participate more. Well, like, I don't know. Everyone's gotten so shy. It's weird. Like 10 years ago, people would participate more. And I don't know, maybe it's because everyone's like, I only want to talk when I can do it with my thumbs. I don't know, but at any rate, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go through pages 90 and 91. And also pages 88 up to, and I don't actually have a copy of the book, so I'm going to take a quick look here. Sorry, I'm going to borrow your book for just a second. 88 to 89. So basically pages 88 to 91. And you're going to start on your cheat sheet. Yes. Yes. Did you want me to go through and star all the words? I didn't do that this time. Okay, let's go through and star all the words. Okay. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay. So you need to know alleles. You need to know homologous chromosomes. You need to know homozygous. You need to know heterozygous. Okay, so all the little vocab in that box on the right, you need to know. What else we need to know? We need to know sister chromatids. And you should also know replicated chromosome. And unreplicated chromosome. If we don't get to do the strawberry tomorrow because we need a little bit more time, we'll definitely do it on Thursday or Friday. I know I keep putting it off, but we are going to do it this week, I promise. Cross my heart. Strawberry. Should I bring some for eating too? Yeah. Okay. So we'll have the ones that are used for like extracting the DNA, and then we'll have some where we, ooh, should I get some strawberry like juice or something too? Like a whole strawberry party? Strawberry party. If you want to wear red, you could wear red. What day should we do it? Should we do it Friday? Is that a nice thing to do on a Friday? Okay, cool. Strawberry party on Friday. I'll bring strawberry juice. I'll bring strawberries. We'll extract the DNA. Okay? We might as well have a strawberry party because it's not actually that exciting extracting the DNA. So we got to make it worthwhile. Hi. What is chromatin? Chromatin is thin. Remember? Chromatin is thin. It is the long, thin, noodly, uncondensed form of DNA. Uh-huh.